everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on all types of topics related to narcissism. So if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. I would really appreciate it if you gave the video a thumbs up. It's a free way you can help me out. And definitely don't forget to leave a comment because I like to read what you have to say. Have you ever wondered why birds stay in the same place when literally they could fly anywhere in the world? What about you? Are you in the same place when literally you could fly anywhere in the world? Are you living the life you want to live? Last Sunday, Joe and I were discussing video ideas for the Sharon and Joe show. We're in different stages of recovery from narcissistic abuse, so we tend to each want to discuss where we are individually. Joe definitely is more inclined towards the pain and depression part. I'm much more likely to want to talk about the praise the Lord, I'm free at last part of recovery. And I was thinking about that difference this week when I happened to hear someone mention that although birds can fly anywhere, they don't. Yes, some do go south temporarily, but they don't stay there. Why not? And what about us? Why do so many of us stay so long in bad relationships? Now, birds are just animals dependent on their instincts. But what about us? What's our excuse? Why is it that some people get stuck on an endless loop of hell with the narcissist, while other people shut that down immediately? Why do we stay in an obviously bad relationship, and how can we leave? A few years ago, I drove by my childhood home. Now, I knew the home that I grew up in was small, but I was taken aback by just how small it really was. My perspective had changed. I hadn't seen the house in over 10 years. And it wasn't just the house, it was the entire neighborhood. I almost felt claustrophobic there. That's exactly how it is with the narcissists in our lives. So in answer to the question I posed, why do we stay? Well, we stay because of codependence. And what does codependence do to us? It makes us believe that a city pigeon flying around looking for scraps and pooping on the sidewalk is a majestic eagle. Joe once told me when he first started talking that I had a broken picker. A picker being my taste in men. Now, thankfully, Joe himself remedied that. But seriously, those of us trapped in a relationship full of fear, anxiety, misery, and daydreams of freedom have broken confidence. And I want to talk about how to fix that in today's video. Some of you may remember that in October, I got a tattoo of a rising phoenix. That was symbolic for me because I got it over a tattoo of my ex's name. And it symbolized my rebirth, my new life. And like a real birth, the pain ended with something beautiful. I have several tattoos like that. And in fact, Joe and I are getting a triangle tattoo soon to symbolize our relationship. We always talk about our triangle, Joe and I at the bottom and at the top. So Joe and I are at the bottom next to each other, and at the top is God. It symbolizes our relationship. You know, an eagle is the emblem of the U.S., and it represents loyalty, devotion, freedom, truth, honor, and hope, amongst other meanings. Our view of something affects our perspective. So how does our view of ourselves, especially compared to the narcissist, affect us? What exactly is codependence, and how does it keep us in what we imagine is the safety of the nest? And that's really what it is. We believe that we are safer with the narcissist than without, or way more of us would leave. We're afraid to leave the narcissist. Codependence is really when both partners agree and live as if only one really matters. When the codependent partner does everything for the non-codependent partner, and in return, instead of gratitude, abuse is heaped on top of them, over time, the abuse actually causes a sort of internal paralyzation. The codependent is trapped, or they believe they're trapped. They feel trapped, and that is just as literal as really being trapped. We put ourselves in a cage. The way we think about ourselves is crucial in all areas of our lives. It's actually kind of interesting. We're like a living science experiment. We can trace the roots of this all the way back to our childhoods. That's where codependence is learned, and it is a learned behavior. It tends to run in families. But it's more than that. There's cognitive dissonance as well. That's having two opposite realities side by side, or two conflicting beliefs. So let's say, for example, that a narcissist is giving you the silent treatment for weeks, and that is causing you outrageous agony, pain, misery, crying, begging them to stop. You are in absolute hell and torment. But then one day it's over. The narcissist just ends it, and all of a sudden they're professing their undying love. Then you're thinking, maybe they aren't that cruel after all. Maybe the narcissist was just stressed out. Maybe you should apologize for being so demanding when the narcissist was just having a hard time. Who are you? Why are you so mean to the narcissist? I used to believe that my ex was giving me a silent treatment against his will. I would cry and beg. I mean, this is just absurd, but this is the truth. I would cry and beg. I was in absolute agony. You know, my ex once, I mentioned this on the channel several times, he once gave me a silent treatment for 7 months. Do you want to know? I thought, I used to read about silent treatment, or I would go on YouTube and watch videos on silent treatment, trying to get it to end. And I would always see things like it would last days or weeks. I never saw something that said a silent treatment can last months. Mine did last 7 months. But you want to know something? My ex beat that. He gave our children a silent treatment for 2 years, 24 months. He gave my children a silent treatment. Silent treatment can be unending. But I believed he was doing it against his will, that he really wanted to talk to me, but he just couldn't. Nobody was holding a gun to his head. But in my mind, the cognitive dissonance, I couldn't handle the two opposite realities. I had so much stress, so much trauma. I literally convinced myself of something that wasn't true. And then that affected the way I thought about him. I almost pitied him when he was abusing me. Narcissistic abuse can alter our brains. With repeated trauma, the hippocampus, and that's the part of the brain responsible for learning and memory, is affected. The abuse can literally shrink our brains. So think about that. We can get brain damage from narcissistic abuse. And there's more than that too. There's the trauma bond, anxiety, fear, constantly doubting ourselves. We end up feeling helpless and unable to make a decision as big and important as leaving. We don't believe that we can. It's not even a consideration. We're trapped, isolated, fearful, and alone. So is that it? How did I get out? How did Joe? How does anybody? Have you ever seen nature shows and a mother bird pushes? And it really seems that way. This isn't a gentle process. Her young out of the nest. I mean, I've seen videos where the mother bird will push the young out and the young is falling or bumping on the side of a tree. It's not a gentle process, but that's how it works. I mean, we say that, don't we? Someone needs to leave the nest. Leaving the nest is not gentle. It's being pushed out. Coddling seems kind, but it doesn't work. I'm going to be that mother bird and get real with you. When I left, I was terrified. I had to do it afraid. Leaving is not easy. The decision is easy, but not the action behind it. But I'm going to tell you this. The way that the narcissist is in our heads is not real. For years, more than a decade, I lived in fear of my ex. In my mind, he was bigger and stronger than me. I didn't have a choice. I had to do what he wanted. Essentially, I had myself convinced that I was his slave. I was helpless. He was soaring above me. I was a little bird in a cage. I had put myself there through constant conditioning. But you want to know what was really going on? I was in a cage with an open door. Today, with the perspective of a free woman, do you want to know how I see my ex? Just like my childhood home, small and not intimidating. He's a spineless coward, a pathetic weakling. He isn't a majestic eagle. He's a chick that never hatched. Potential in a smashed egg. Food for living animals. Less than nothing. But how can that go from my lips to your brain, though? How can you go from fearing your narcissist to looking at him or her like a hard-boiled egg? Our author Mark Twain, himself a nature lover, can get us started. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. That's it. It's simple. It doesn't mean it's easy to do, but the concept is simple. Just get started. Break the complex, overwhelming tasks into small, manageable ones. Get up on the side of the nest and get ready to fly. Consider what you want to do. Think about this. Make the decision. That's the first thing that you need to do. You do not need to leave today, but you need to tell yourself that that's where you're going. You are not going to put up with this abuse anymore. You know you're being abused. Don't pretend that you aren't. Get your life together, because only you can save yourself. If you are willing to do the work, you can have anything in life at all. It all comes down to you, but you must believe in yourself. And that's the opposite of what so many of us do. Like I was talking about in the video, the narcissist has us convinced that we can't do anything, but reality really is the opposite. So that is your first task, to believe that, to know that every day, to live that. Okay, the way that I think, the way that I have thought isn't true, and it isn't. Don't live someone else's opinion of you. In keeping with our bird theme, do you think a falcon is concerned with the opinion of a duck? Hell no. Be relentless. Be that falcon. Get disgusted enough to force change. Turn on beast mode. I know you can do this. I did this. And this is the whole point of my channel. I did this. I am not this super strong woman that had all this support and all this money behind me. Because of that, I know you can do this. If I can do this, so can you. Just take the first step today. The only thing you need to do today is make the decision. Take a stand today in your own mind. Decide to fight for the life that you must have. In life, we don't get what we want. We get what we must have. Figure out what it will take for you to do to change, not the narcissist. That really is the secret. So many of us do everything we can to learn about narcissism, to understand the narcissist, but all along our own codependence is left unexamined. Learning about yourself, understanding how you tick, what makes you work, is the key to change. We don't have control over anybody else. Change you. If you stay where you are, you will fail. You will go through life with a narcissist and die the slave of a narcissist. Now is the time to fix this. When you know this, when you're thinking of it, take courage. Trust that God is with you and He knows what He's doing. Take a stand today. Write it in the comments. If you are getting ready to fly, be that rising phoenix. Write it in the comments. Tell us, I'm doing this. I'm going to do it. Get straight up out of the ashes. Now I'm going to leave you with one more Mark Twain quote. 20 years from now, you will be disappointed by the things that you didn't do, much more than by the things you did do. So sail away from the safe harbor. Catch the wind. Explore. Dream. Discover. In my edition, live. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I hope that it helped, and I hope to see lots of people writing in the comments that they're going to do this. That is my mission. Since I got out, I realized that other people can do it too. The way my life is now, it's not easy. It isn't, but it's getting there. I am free, and you cannot put a price on freedom. Joe is in the exact same position as me. We are free together, and it is the most beautiful thing in the world. I want everybody to experience that. Being the slave of a narcissist is unacceptable. I hope everybody has, if you celebrate Easter, I hope you have a wonderful Easter. Joe and I are planning on making a video this weekend, so we will see you on Monday. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. God bless everybody.